you, Spirit. Thank you, Self. Thank you, Ancestors. Thank you, Collective. Thank you, Shadow Self. Thank you, Highest Self. Number 48. My body is continually responding to my thoughts. Your body and your mind are forever connected. Your body is responding to your thoughts continually. In fact, to nothing else. Your body is absolutely a pure reflection of the way you think. There is nothing else that is affecting your body other than your thoughts. When you consciously acknowledge the absolute correlation between what you are thinking and what you are getting, you can then eventually, under all conditions, control your own experience. All that is required is to deliberately think about things that you do want to experience. Number 21. Most are attracting their less than wellness by default. Most who are attracting less than wellness are doing so by default. They may very well desire wellness, but the majority of their thoughts do not support wellness. It is not a good idea to try to evaluate what anyone else is living, but you can always know where you stand relative to what you want. And if you pay attention to the feelings within you, you will find yourself guiding your thoughts more of the time in the direction of that which will ultimately please you. Golden Poppy, Dream. Followed by Foxglove, Connection. And together fell out Adversity, the Marshmallow Plant, and Adaptation, Blackberry Plant. Now come on this journey with me real quick. You maybe want to pay attention more to your dreams. Cool, that's good. Paying attention to our dreams helps us fully process things that we automatically process in our dream state. That helps us bloom further, like these really open blooms. But we have to stay grounded. Look how low to the ground the leaves of this plant grow. It's very grounded to the ground, right? It's got a wide base. It's very hardy in that way. This connections card. Connections are hardy when they have a strong, solid foundation. Dreams are floaty. There's not a deep base, and these buds don't last for long after they bloom. But our connections, our groundedness come from a deep, hardy base. If we form those deep, hardy base foundations that ground us, then we can adapt to adversity. One thing I want to point out about these cards is that they're all in bloom. Every single human being on the planet is in bloom. We're all in various states of bloom. Some of our blooms open early and last a short time. Some of us are late bloomers, and it takes a really long time for us to flow into our abundance, into our belief in our own abundance. But we're all in bloom, so all human beings are holding that same amount of worth, of on-purposeness. This is both important when it comes to dealing with other people and how we treat them and what we expect of them, but also when we look in the mirror and see ourselves. One of the ways I realized recently that I am able to distinguish between what I'm hearing from spirit and what I'm hearing from myself is that spirit says things very directly and with great gentle kindness. When it's me, I'm being more critical. I'm being more uncertain. So those conversations happen in my mind at the same time. But the one that is a natural source of grace is spirit, and the one that sounds more like myself, a little more like this, that's me. And what's so beautiful about realizing that each person is in a state of bloom, in their abundant wholeness, in alignment with source, wherever they are on the journey, however long they stay a flower, undetermined by us. But where was I going with that? We're all in a state of bloom. We're all worthy, including ourselves. That's the bottom line. I don't remember what all I was trying to say, but the bottom line is that we ourselves are worthy of joy, of abundance, of deep trust, of heartfelt connection to source, spirit, and the universe, to a presence of mind in this one human life that we're living right here, right now, in a whole breadth of experiences. There's some level of privilege involved if a person has the ability to broadcast themselves on the internet or to watch someone doing that. So we're all here with some level of abundance, trying to live into our wholeness. That's true for every single human being. Our worths are equal, and we're here on purpose just the same. Now, not everything works together for the good in a human experience, right? Sometimes things and people and experiences and worldviews work better with others than with ourselves. One thing I had a wonderful preacher say at church one time was that God's table is big enough. It was 21:11 on the timer. God's table is big enough for everybody. There's a seat for everybody at God's table. God's table is not limited to who we deem worthy. We are all intentional beings, and there's a seat for all of us, which is hard to cope with when you throw Hitler and your mean great aunt that chain smoked 3 packs a day in the car and whatever. It's hard to measure the self against people we see as less evolved or less. It's hard to recognize there's no such thing as that for all of us. We all have a hard time. But I'm here to remind you and myself that it is true, that we are all of equal worth. And you are being invited at this time, collective, my friend, my love, divine, purposeful creation of the mutual source that has created us all. There's a strawberry plant and a rowan plant. Enjoy protection. When we recognize that we're all of equal worth and there's a higher power keeping us all, and we're all in it together whether we cooperate or not, we can lean into and enjoy the divine protection we've been given in this lifetime. And that divine protection maybe doesn't always protect every single person from physical harm. That's not how things work. Unfortunately, I can't tell you any better how they work. I'm only 33. I'm not an expert. But what I'm hearing, what I'm feeling, what I feel inspired to share at this time is that the more we lean into the true existence of the divine protection that exists in the energy surrounding and coursing through us, the more we enjoy that, the more 23:32 on the timer, the more we enjoy our life. Because we're believing in a sense. Remember, my body is continuously aligning with my thoughts or responding to my thoughts. Most are attracting their less than wellness by default. It's not to reject the reality of our condition to speak into existence what we want instead. We're still living our life. We're still experiencing exactly what we're experiencing. But when we can reframe our mind around what we're experiencing to explain to ourselves how necessary this grudging, trudging journey through life really is in order to reach our highest abundance. Like, once we have that, we get to live in that higher vibrational state more often. And the more often we live in that higher vibrational state, the more opportunities we have to model that higher vibrational state to others. How we show people how they don't have to stay the same when they see us changing dramatically. When we show people that forgiveness is real when nobody believed that those two people would ever be friends again. But we don't know. We can't tell the future. I love tarot cards. I love the nods that it gives me to what I should pay attention. I do believe that the energy of the universe is conspiring with me to my greatness. And so I love reading the energy of how to align harder. I love the fast track for alignment whenever it's available to me. But the future involves the will of us and so many others, and we can't tell it. God's always bigger than what we can figure out about the future. Spirit is always 2 steps ahead when it comes to preparing the way to all of our highest good at the same time. Like, seriously, the cards can't tell me exactly what's going to happen. There's billions of energies in this world, and there's no way I'm professional enough at tarot reading or wise or sage or live long enough to be able to say with certainty by looking at some pieces of paper printed off the internet what will happen. But what I do know is this. Anytime I've ever gone to the cards earnestly asking for Spirit to reveal to me the next right steps of my path so that I know where to go in my Bible, so that I know who to talk to, so that I know when it's time to make that apology or ask for it, so that I know what's right to say to my children and what I should process more before I open that can of beans, to know if I should file that paperwork or make that appointment or whatever. All that's, anytime I've earnestly gone to the creator of me and the rest of the universe and the source of all energy and the encompasser of all energy and asked for guidance for the next right thing, for righteousness, for God's good, for other people's good, when it's not just a it might be self-full, but it's not selfish. I've never gotten bad information. It might not be what I was looking for. I've recently learned, based on constant reminders about one of my exes, that there was like a very specific Bible verse all that hubbub was probably about to get me to, on like the first page of the New Testament, brand new Bible I got for Christmas. Like, it's a lot, okay? But all I'm saying is that When our attention is elsewhere, God can get our attention, even if it looks toxic, as long as we follow those signs to the next right thing instead of the next karmic thing. If we'd like to exit cycles, then we have to do something different. As I exit cycles and enter new ones, I find myself lighter, free of the old embarrassments of the past, because I had to learn that shit to get to where I am now. And other people had to learn some pretty hard lessons on me. And that's a continuous process that we're all going through, and we signed up for that as our souls enter the ether and we're cannonballed into existence. We have these contracts about living out our destiny. And, you know, some people choose not to fulfill that contract in one way or another. And some people spend their whole lives trying to fulfill the contract as hard as possible. And ultimately, one way or the other, we arrive where we were going to, because nothing could have happened than what did. I wish I could take credit for that mindset, but I've been married to someone for almost 10 years who's been reminding me of that for a long time. So, let's continue on. Meditate your way to tuning into the frequency of your highest good. Control the way you feel and reconnect with your source energy. Meditate. Keep up your positive vibrations by finding things that feel good when you think about them. Every single message here has been go to your thoughts and find what to feel good about and think good about. And you will raise your vibration. You will ascend into that next level energy. Wow. The card right underneath that said at the bottom of the deck, you can be, do, and have anything you want. The world doesn't have to demonstrate it for you to know it. So, in the shuffling section, the first card that came out of this deck, I stopped and I meditated. And that was because I got the number 4 Be Still card. There's all this balance, this person just laying down, but this really cool thing happened for me spiritually that's never happened before. So that's what you got to witness in real time on a video. I mean, I'm not live, but I'm not going to edit this, so you're getting what you get. So, interestingly, I had my eyes closed. I was waiting for something. I don't know. It said be still. I was like, okay. I had my eyes closed, and all I could see was like this X. I can see it right now. It's really weird. I usually can't see things behind my eyelids, but sometimes these days when I practice more, it happens. But what was happening when I had the cards in my hand and I was shuffling was, or when I was holding it still, I was looking at the X and I was waiting and I was breathing, and then the X would just start flashing in the middle. I was like, oh, does that mean go? So then I shuffled, and these are the cards that came out. Number 24, flow like water, go with the flow. Number 6, build strength. Like, okay, go with the be still, go with the flow. Build strength. Number 43, rest. Look at all this intermittent rest. So it's like rest, physical and spiritual action. rest. Oh, wait, that's backwards. Rest, spiritual action, physical action, rest. Then you got number 36, movement, which is, it wasn't being specifics, and it's like a yoga pose, so I'm thinking of spiritual action, right? So rest, we're looking at an A, B, C, A. B, C, kind of like an ABC pattern, okay? So I have a kid in kindergarten. So rest, spiritual action, physical action, rest. Spiritual action, and then at the bottom, the other card that came out was physical action. So it's like flow your mind, train your body, rest. Align your mind and body, train your body. And then at the bottom of the deck is beauty ritual, which I would say is a rest card as well. Let's just shuffle this one more time. See if the X thing will happen. I don't even see the X, so I'm not going to wait for it. But that was really cool. It was... Okay, here we go. Number 28, intuition. Wow. A rest card. See, because like... Cool. I watched this amazing reading with OJC Astrology on the 12/21 Great Conjunction entering Aquarius season. It was really impactful. I highly recommend it. And I had before that pulled out these two cards. I love this deck called Postcards from the Liminal Space. And I had pulled out two cards that really gave me like a hermit mode and emerge out of hermit mode vibe. Invisibility mode and then rainbow. And so I have them over here. I'm just kind of looking at them, like taking in this vibe. I was like, maybe I'll bring up what I'm thinking about it. Maybe I won't. And then here I am bringing it up. And what I got from that is 2020 has really forced a lot of us into hermit mode, but many of us were entering it already or had been in it for a while or needed it. And what hermit mode allows us, it's not giving up on the outside world. It's more like allowing for the inside world. It's turning into the goo inside the chrysalis before coming out a butterfly, right? So God sent the rainbow after the great flood as a promise never to do that again. At least that's how I've heard it. I don't know if I've actually read the Noah story. Like, not that part. I definitely read the part about like his kids seeing him naked or whatever after when he was drunk. It was like embarrassing, but that's not the point. The point here is that we emerge from the hermit mode. If we were going internally and seeking God and seeking our inner truth, we emerge from that a more authentic version of ourselves. And that's something to be so beautifully grateful for. And OJC Astrology reminded me of that when I was watching that video. It was very affirming to watch someone express ideas about how internal and personal these spiritual processes are, and how we can intentionally be in a mindset of gratitude for all of the growth and all of the overcoming and all of the growing left to do, because we don't have to do that alone. We have Source on our side at all times. We have our God. And fortunately for us, as we go through life experiences, we are able to prune down the noise of what is not good for us and create boundaries to protect what is good for us and live into our highest truth with God and with our gratitude. So I'm going to leave this message there. I've been enjoying this 999 hertz, 9999 hertz, 963 hertz, 90 hertz divinity, supreme knowledge, wisdom experience deep in the cosmos. So thank you to this background noise. Thank you for you to watching it. Whatever, you get the idea. Shout out to Ruth Pearl Wolodarski Weinstock, my great-grandmother that passed before I was born and gave me her name. I have a candle lit for her today, the secular anniversary of her passing. As far as I know, I got that off of Ancestry.com. So, I'm honoring that, and I love you all. Be blessed.